All right, let's get going on this show here. Starts with Kurt Angle cutting a promo about the pay-per-view. Shield comes out. Old music. I thought they were going to save the music and the entrance and the flak jackets and everything like that for the pay-per-view, but they debuted it here, or re-debuted it. And even though it was Roman's current music, crowd went nuts for these guys. And they chanted, "This is awesome" for the entrance.
Yeah, just the entrance.
Yep. Angle says, "Do you guys want to hear from the Shield?" Everybody cheered. So he hands the mic to Roman Reigns. Everybody boos. And Roman says, "Kurt, you got to stay out of our yard or we're going to beat your ass."
It wasn't that bad.
They still booed the guy.
There was some boos, but it was nothing compared to usual.
No, not like, 3 weeks ago. But still, he's the only guy getting booed in the Shield. And only when they talk about him by himself. Like when they're a unit, they're cheered. But if you hand a mic to the guy, they boo him.
Yeah, but when he wrestled in the main event, he wasn't booed.
Seth cut a promo about how great it was to be out there. Talked about how they dominated until something happened, but he's proud they're back together again. Dean says, "Nobody in the history of professional wrestling divided and conquered like the Shield. No force on earth more powerful than they are." And he reiterates, "We'll take on 4, 5, 6 guys. We don't care. I want to fight right now in Portland." So Strowman's music hits, and the heels come out, but Angle jumps on the mic and stops him. He says, "Listen, this match is the pay-per-view match. It's not happening tonight. Tonight's Raw is going to make history. If any of you heels make a move, you're going to lose your opportunities tonight." And, of course, that's a tag team title match and the Roman-Braun match. And Cole promised it would be one of the greatest Raws of all time.
Well, that would be a little much.
Yeah. Miz and the crew came out for Miz TV, hyped up the pay-per-view, their challenge for the tag titles tonight.
So they're trying to get people to chant "Biscuit Butt" at Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And nobody's been doing it.
Thank God.
And they're trying really well. I guess they sort of did last week, but I didn't hear anyone doing it tonight.
So Miz says the Shield was never as good as the fans thought they were, introduces his guest, Braun Strowman. Braun is mad the Shield triple team powerbombed him through the announcement table last week. So he's going to tear him apart one by one, starting tonight in the cage. He says the door will be locked so Roman can't run away, which is funny.
Because the first thing in the match, Roman tries to run away.
Yeah, it's escape the cage rules. Everyone's running away the whole match. So...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's...
I just love that they have a cage match. They have a cage match where Braun claims it's to make sure the guy can't run away, but it's over-the-top escape the cage rules. And then, this was a week after we had a Hell in a Cell Falls Count Anywhere match. A cage with a top on it. A Falls Count Anywhere match.
And people were escaping left and right.
Yeah, it's nuts.
With frickin' bolt cutters underneath the ring and everything, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe they should have said that bolt cutters were banned.
Well, they'll know next time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I will say one thing. They did a really good job of doing that deal where they locked all those guys in the room, so at least explain.
It was finally
where Roman got no help. I thought that was a really nice touch.
We've been begging for that for like a decade, and they finally did it. So they deserve a great amount of credit. We'll talk about
why?
That.
Because they figured it out in 10 years.
Hey, you know what? Some things they don't figure out in 10 years. So I give them credit. They figured this one out.
I don't give them credit when it's like where it takes 10 years to figure it out.
So Miz brings up that Dean said the Shield could take on 4 or 5 guys, and he says, "We accept. We're going to have a 5th member." And Kurt Angle comes out and he says, "I agreed to a 4th member. I'm not making it 3-on-5. And Miz said, "But that's what Dean said. We got to prove that words mean something. Think about what happens if it's 3-on-5 and they win. They'll be heroes." And Kurt says, "Well, we're going to settle this in the ring." He says, "If Braun can beat Roman tonight, then they can have a 5th guy. But if Roman wins, Braun's out of the match, and it's 3-on-3 again." So, of course, the Miztourage is not down with this, but Braun steps up and says, "We accept." And Kurt then notes, and I have no idea why because they didn't abide by it, everybody is banned from ringside.
Maybe there'll be repercussions next week, but I am betting that there won't be.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not hopeful for that at all.
Ambrose and Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro, Raw Tag Team titles. I like what they did for the heat here. Sheamus and Rollins supposedly bonked heads, and the ref went to check Sheamus' head. Cesaro gave Rollins a lariat, and they got the heat. That was different. I like different things.
Yeah.
Worked him over for a long time. So long that the place just went absolutely nuts when he dove for the hot tag. Gave it to Ambrose. Ambrose makes a big comeback. Twin dives by the babyfaces. I have no idea what happened, but they had a super sloppy double team near the finish where the bar was trying to hit Ambrose with some sort of double team, and it took him forever.
It was supposed to be like a heart attack, essentially. But it took Sheamus forever to get, was it Dean in position?
Dean, yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't get him in position, and then Cesaro was waiting to do it and just was very awkward in waiting to do it. So, yeah. I mean, it was just, it was a miscue.
Finally broke down into a four-way. Seth hit the Rainmaker knee on Cesaro. Dean hit the DDT for the pin. Pretty good match. Ambrose and Rollins retained the tag team titles.
Yeah, that was a nice match. It was nice.
Then we had an awesome segment. The Axeman is meeting with Sheamus and Cesaro, and he's trying to give him a pep talk even though they lost. We've got to stay strong. We've got to be strong for Braun tonight. If Braun wins, Curtis Axel, will be the fifth man in this match. He says this, and the look on Sheamus and Cesaro's face was classic. They do not want this guy anywhere near this match. He adds it's his hometown. Braun walks in. The X-Man's begging for him to win. He wants this match. He needs it. He needs it so bad, he'll fight Roman Reigns right now. Everybody says, well, why don't you go find him? They are begging for him to go get his ass beaten, so he will not be the fifth man. I thought this was awesome. And it turned out he found Roman, and
it was
history.
It was clever. It was well done. Yeah,
I loved it. So the main event: Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. Miz has commentary for the match. Roman is continually trying to flee, but Braun stops him every time. So finally, he gets up to the top, and Sheamus and Cesaro run down to stop him. And the other Shield members run down to stop them. So 4 of these individuals who were told not to interfere in the main event, they're all out there interfering in the main event. And they start brawling. And they eventually get backstage, and Miz says, if you'll excuse me. And they're filming this long brawl backstage, and Miz walks up as they brawl through this bay door, and he proceeds to shut the door so they can't get back in. Goes back to do commentary. Roman goes for the spear. Braun tries to backdrop him, but Roman still hits him with the Superman punch for a great near fall. Sets up for the second spear, and Kane's newly remixed music distracts him. Still goes for the spear anyway, but then Kane comes through a hole in the ring, hits a big choke slam on Roman. Braun hits a power slam. Kane hits a tombstone. Braun hits a second power slam. Pins Roman Reigns. So Miz gets a fifth man, and the fifth man is Kane. It's actually a great storyline because Roman retired Kane's brother, and he is back from his mayoral run to get his revenge.
Hopefully they actually tell people that.
I think we're supposed to assume, but it would be nice if they told us.
They could have mentioned it though. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think they did a great job with that with building the main event. It was really a fun show when it comes to that.